We have arrived at the business end of the 2025 USL Jägermeister Cup. This is the appetizer for tomorrow's full slate of Round 4 group stage action. It is Portland Hearts of Pine welcoming the Pittsburgh Riverhounds to Fitzpatrick Stadium in Portland. Happy to have you with us this evening on ESPN+. Alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. Ricky, we haven't known Portland very long. They're a few months into their maiden voyage, but they have had a chance to go up against a lot of USL Championship competition in a very short time.
And they've done a really good job at being competitive in this competition for Portland Hearts of Pine. You look at that Detroit City game when they won 4-2 at home, and that is going to be a game that if you are Bobby Murphy, you need to replicate because you are fantastic defensively, but also free-flowing going forward.
It's translated to USL League One success. They're finally above the playoff line in League One, and a big reason why Natty James and company have started to figure things out. Our player to watch presented by High Roller.
Natty James is just a nightmare to defend because he can do a little bit of everything, whether it is beating you 1v1 or through combination play. He's going to play as a withdrawn number 9, so look for him to make those runs in behind to really test this back line of Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
He caused a lot of issues for Chris Richards in the United States back in the Gold Cup a couple of weeks ago. Now, this is a Pittsburgh team, Ricky, on the other side. They can't qualify for the next round tonight, but Bob Lilly said this game still very much matters because they want to keep momentum going, momentum they finally built over the last 8 games.
Momentum is the key word, especially for a Pittsburgh Riverhounds side that has a lot of attacking talent going forward, getting this side in a rhythm to continue to see the ball hit the back of the net. So expect Bob Lilly to want to be aggressive, to be front-footed here on the road in a hostile environment.
The real issue so far for Pittsburgh, while the results have been there, they've catapulted themselves into a better spot in the Eastern Conference standings in USL Championship. Look at the first 8 and the last 8 matches. The wins have changed, the goals conceded, and the clean sheets have improved, but they really haven't had an uptick in the goal scoring. Yes, in terms of the shots per game, but not really in terms of the goal scoring. That is still the last box they need to check. So insert perhaps Bertrand Jacquesson, a player who we've seen glimpses of this year, regaining the form that he dominated with last September.
Bertrand Jacquesson is just looking for consistency within his performances because we've seen glimpses of how good he can be, whether it's making the runs off of his blind side of his striker, but also the ability to combine. Big opportunity for Bertrand Jacquesson to see the ball hit the back of the net here for the Riverhounds.
And neither of these teams, again, can continue on in Jägermeister Cup, but what we will see tonight is one of the best environments in the entire USL ecosystem. Fitzpatrick Stadium set to be rocking. It is Portland Hearts of Pine and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds next on ESPN+.
Hey.
Hey.
Allagash, wait for you. Can I get you a beer?
Yeah.
Let me give you a minute. What you thinking? Choose one.
I'll go for Allagash White, too.
Nice. That's my go-to.
Start your night with Allagash White.
Tonight's broadcast is presented by Jägermeister. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. And by Visit Maine. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups for Portland Hearts of Pine, presented by NBT Bank. Bobby Murphy sends out a pretty strong group. Some new faces mixed in, but all in all, a representative squad.
A lot of the responsibility would be on Poonandron and Langwall. Essentially, look for them to dictate tempo, move the ball from left to right on the ball, but off the ball. They need to be really good at just sitting right in front of that back line and just being a security blanket. If they can be influential, that allows Southern and Natty James to be really aggressive going forward.
On the other side for Pittsburgh, similar story here. There's some anchor pieces like Danny Griffin in the midfield, Sean Suber on the back line, but then an opportunity for some others to shine as well.
Griffin and Sample, that will be the name of the game for Bob Lilly, just to be the engine for this side, doing everything what they want to do going forward, but also defensively. Big opportunity for All and Jacobson to really push Bob Lilly for real game time moments. Once USL Championship comes around, Garcia will have the freedom to go and search the game at his number 10 role.
Case could be made that the Pittsburgh Riverhounds have one of the deepest teams and maybe the smallest gap between the quote-unquote A team and B team in USL Championship. I think that's something that will come across this evening as well. The other thing that's going to come across again is this supporters section for Portland Hearts of Pine. It's been a couple of months here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. They have built themselves into maybe the best environment under the USL umbrella, and we get to see it front and center tonight to round out Jägermeister Cup. Referee in charge this evening, Edson Carla Hall, sends us on our way. It is Portland in their green and blue from left to right. Pittsburgh with their white and yellow from right to left, and away we go. Glad to have you with us this evening. Alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. Last time we saw Jägermeister Cup action on this field for Portland Hearts of Pine going up against Detroit City, it was an end-to-end 4-2 thriller in which Portland came out on top. Having a chance to chat with head coach Bobby Murphy this week coming into this one. They've taken pride, as we showed you top of the broadcast, in all the games they've gotten to play against USL Championship opponents. They've relished those opportunities. They've been tests for Portland. They've passed most of those tests, and it's started to translate now into results in their regular season as well.
It's an opportunity for Portland Hearts of Pine, not only as a club, but individuals as well, to really test their self against higher opposition in USL Championship side.
Pressure here from Pittsburgh getting to them, though, and take a deflection. That's what both sides are pleading. Portland that it didn't, Pittsburgh that it did, and Portland wins the argument out for a goal kick. Tonight's keys to the game are presented by Paype Chevrolet. What do you got for us, Ricky?
For Portland Hearts of Pine, you need to stay compact defensively because this Pittsburgh Riverhound side, once again on the ball, they want to dictate tempo. So you're looking at Poonandron and Langwall to stay really tight in keeping this front-to-back Portland Hearts of Pine side very compact. For Bob Lilly, you just need to play this game on your terms because Portland Hearts of Pine, they want to be vertical, they want to be aggressive. So look for Danny Griffin and Bradley Sample to really put their foot on the ball and slow the game down.
Looking long and ahead for Jacobson, and he commits the foul. Getting Bertrand Jacobson going, it's one of the key items right now for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I suppose you could say that about their attack at large. Augie Williams available off the bench tonight. He's had double-digit goals in 4 of the last 5 seasons. Augie Williams just 3 this year. Bertrand Jacobson last year joined in early September, scored 5 goals in 7 games. And this year hasn't scored in the regular season, has just 1 goal in Jägermeister Cup. So it's been slow for both of their key guys up top. But a night like tonight and what should be an open game could be what you need to get Jacobson going.
As a striker and as an attacking player, rhythm is everything, confidence is everything. So when there is not a lot to lose, big opportunity for Bertrand Jacobson just to take chances and really express himself high up the field.
Going to play on the throw from Nathan Messer. Now the other way for Pittsburgh. Jacob Randolph is in goal at the back tonight for Pittsburgh. Eric Dick has been the goalkeeper in the regular season every step of the way. Randolph has been that cup keeper, so an opportunity in goal tonight for Jacob Randolph again. Junior Etu right now the concern. He's down holding his left ankle to a seated position. See if he's able to get up. His back line stays intact for Pittsburgh. It's a different formation than we've typically seen as of late. You see his ankle just get caught in the turf there. But Etu, Biasi, Suber, and Broughton All guys who appear on a very regular basis on the back line for Pittsburgh.
Especially the two outside backs, Broughton and Etu. They will not be as aggressive going forward. Be a little bit more structural defensively to give a foundation for this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side. So expect when they do go forward, there's going to be a lot of rotation and coverage behind them.
Broughton has had some starts in cup competition, has appeared off the bench regularly for Pittsburgh. Here's Etu again delivering good service just over the head of Borgi. And out the other side for Walter Varela. That's what Etu brings. Turned over. Ball's all a step too slow in getting there. Ball off target from Jacquesin. Popped up over the top and brought down. Seemed like a high boot defensively from Luke Biasi. Evan Southern down, holding his midsection. Seemed to want to play advantage the referee Edson Carvajal, but brought it back.
What we've seen from Portland Hearts of Pine, they play really direct once they do recover the ball. And they try to play transitional, great touch from Southern just to try to come centrally. Biasi gets caught with the extension of his right leg and catches the striker for Portland Hearts of Pine.
Did Biasi have the buzz cut last week in Detroit City, or is that new?
New.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy.
Hey, it's summer, it's hot.
It's a fair point.
He's rocking it, though.
I dig it.
You next?
No, God, no.
Oh, come on, Joe.
I got way too big of a forehead to rock a buzz cut. See, even Luke Biasi cracks a smile there. He knows. He knows. Even Southern still a concern right now. He'll have to come off. There was no yellow card shown on the play, so he'll have to come off for a moment. It looks all right to get back out there once he's allowed to do so. Injury report tonight brought to you by Maine Health. A couple on either side. On a night like tonight, some other players missing that we'll get to for Portland, but larger ideals at work for some of those players missing. Jacquesin trying to pull away. He's brought down. Cleanly won, though, by Nathan Messer. Messer to the corner, stumbles over the ball, almost got it back. Throw coming for Portland. So as I mentioned, this is an interesting situation here for Portland. They go into their mandated mental health break after this. So from a logistical standpoint, players, veterans like Mikey Lopez, are just given the night off tonight for Portland so they can sort of parlay it into a longer break. So a name's not included on the injury report per se, but players who are unavailable tonight being held out for different reasons because they're going into that mental health break, and just an opportunity for Bobby Murphy to allow some of his guys that have really been grinding in these summer months to just take a little break before they get going in what is a busy August ahead for them.
Difficult game to manage for these players. Yes, there quote-unquote is not a lot to play for, but also for head coaches, right? How do you find the balance and understanding, yes, we want to gain momentum, we want players to continue to get in a rhythm, but also to give them the rest that is needed. For Bob Lilly and for Bobby Murphy, we've seen some rotation, but yet still putting out a very aggressive starting 11 here.
Brought it up in the chat we had with Bob Lilly, the old Bill Parcells quote about preseason football. The games don't count, but they matter. This is one that sort of falls into that category. It doesn't count for anything. Neither of these teams are mathematically alive to go further in the Jägermeister Cup, but it definitely matters for a lot of these players, for two teams that are in the thick of playoff races in their respective leagues right now. We need these guys to step up at some point over these next couple of months as we go into the throes of the season. And one thing that we've also learned from this tournament, there's a lot of players on League One rosters that are maybe ready to make the leap to championship, and there's some players that aren't seeing a lot of playing time on championship rosters and maybe get to take a loan to USL League One. So that's also being showcased tonight for these players playing for that next opportunity in some regards as well. Not reporting any news in this case, but take a player, as we talked about earlier, Max Broughton, who's starting on the back line tonight for Pittsburgh. He's made 11 appearances, but for less than 100 minutes this regular season for Pittsburgh. Gets a chance to showcase himself tonight, be it for another USL Championship team, be it for a League One team. Maybe there is something in the cards to get a loan, to get minutes the rest of the season. All that creeps into a player's mind. So while neither team can advance, you still expect a lot of urgency, a lot of intensity tonight, and that was communicated from both coaches ahead of this one.
Nice little move there from Sample. been a player that Bob Lilly requires a lot of responsibility to do on both sides of the ball. Has formed a nice relationship with Danny Griffin at the heart of that midfield for the Riverhounds.
Oladapo will get it back into play. Only one start for him in the regular season. He's been Portland's cup keeper in some regards. University of Portland, Oregon, that is, collegiately. They're now playing in Portland, Maine. Oladapo. Super powerful header along. There's Charles All. He's come on as a regular starter for Pittsburgh over these last few weeks. Did not start last game, though, against Detroit City. 8 appearances, 4 starts this regular season for Charles All. Every year, there's a couple of guys for Bob Lilly who seem to catch favor with him mid-season, and he rides them the rest of the way. Charles All, one of those players this year. Two. He was not expecting that pass back from Biasi. And his pocket pick, but he didn't know the ball was coming to him. Too well to recover. And now those two gesturing, shouting at each other, but maybe on better terms. Oh, it's still going, still going. Opportunity to work out some kinks, perhaps, as well on a night like this.
If you're Luke Biasi, you have to see the body position of Junior Etu. No need to try to force the issue and try to overcomplicate things. Nonetheless, just play direct and try to clear your lines and gain some real estate high up the field as we take a look at Bob Lilly, the head coach for the Riverhounds.
Concerned, not concerned, I should say, but curious to see the width of this field coming into tonight. Knew it was a pretty narrow pitch, and maybe that's something that factors into their shift tonight into a back four. Narrower field. Don't need to have 5 across the back as they typically do. Awkwardly hit ball back toward Oladapo. There are 17 Jägermeister Cup games tomorrow. That's when the chaos really begins here in this final round of group play. This is the lone game on the docket tonight on this Friday evening. Sold out crowd here at Fitzpatrick Stadium once again in Portland, Maine. That too harassed immediately and brought down.
And again, another frustration signaling from Etsu. There's no need that this ball needs to be played into him. He's facing towards the sideline. If you are Bradley Sample, just circulate the ball and continue with the momentum. Really difficult ball to deal with if you are Etsu, because you have Langlois coming towards your backside immediately. Pittsburgh Riverhounds having a really difficult time just figuring out the spacing in which they can break through the Hearts of Pine high press.
Shandon Wright looking upfield. He's made 3 starts this regular season. Shandon Wright, another player who's gotten some looks in these cup competitions between Open Cup and Jägermeister Cup. All the way back down again for Oladapo. Neither side yet with a shot on target. Portland has been a fun team to watch this year, and Bob Lilly complimented them heavily in our conversation ahead of this one. It's not a team that really scores by accident. They don't score by just lumping the ball forward and making it count. They build. You go back and you watch the 4 goals they scored against Detroit City in Jägermeister Cup. Again, going up against the USL Championship team, they were cutting through Detroit City, and that was a representative starting lineup from Detroit City, who are still very much alive in Jägermeister Cup. So it hangs up there for Randolph. But they can play through you. They have spark plugs like Natty James with the individual brilliance. Ollie Wright, who we could see later. He's available off the bench. It's a loaded team here in Portland that's slowly starting to click in a difficult start to the season with an awkward schedule, some time off, some road games. They were playing in a different venue in the early going, but now they have their feet firmly planted underneath them here at their venue, and they are starting to pick up steam.
I have to give credit to Bobby Murphy and the front office. The Portland Hearts of Pine doing a really good job, especially in the offseason, not only bringing talented players, but players.
Two ends up going for goal off the crossbar, touched away by Oladapo. That is not what he intended, but it nearly paid off.
It's a good idea from Junior Etu. He's just trying to wrap his left foot around the ball, bend it into the path of Jacqueline, and nearly catches Oladapo off of his line. Emergency goalkeeping by the goalkeeper just to push it across his crossbar. But that's the aggressive nature from Junior Etu when he does get in around that final third, puts the ball in a dangerous area, and really puts the pressure on.
This one a more conventional ball for Etu, intercepted. Given away, Natty James. His first instinct, Natty James, always to just go. Walter Varela cutting in. Varela puts it behind both runners, Nicky Riley and Natty James.
Both players make really clever runs, but if you are Riley, you have to see the movement ahead of you. Natty James is the initial player that makes that darting run, so just stay your ground, peel out a little bit and stay centrally. That's when you can really open up a passing lane into yourself.
Pressure right now from Portland, almost getting to Pittsburgh, and finally they do intercept it. Mo Mohammed stepping up. Michel Pounangeron. Varela. Nathan Messer keeps it in play. Messer delivering, Riley tracking it, falls for Southern. Riley takes charge. Works it back to Southern. Southern scooping it, Randolph there.
Have to be really clever if you are Portland Hearts of Pine and understanding Natty James is the lone striker. Not the most physically dominant of players, so he wants the ball to feet. He wants to be clever and just try to combine with his teammates. So lofting balls with a lot of air underneath it just plays into the hands of the Riverhounds at clearing their lines.
USL on ESPN2 closes out July with 2 conference matches between teams fighting to stay in the playoff race. You can watch July 29th at 7 p.m. for a matchup between these Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Miami FC. And on Wednesday, July 30th, 10 p.m. Eastern in the Western Conference, Orange County taking on Phoenix Rising. Both of those on ESPN2. You can also catch Jägermeister Cup tomorrow on ESPN2. That's at 7 Eastern. Detroit City against Westchester SC, 2 teams that are also in this group. Detroit City is still alive, though, for a wild card spot. Etu looking back post, too much on it.
Just need more quality there from Junior Etu. 2 things need to happen. Berthan Jackson needs to make that near post run and just dart across the back line of Portland. If you do, you pull out a center back, but also the movement of Garcia. He just stays and looking for that cutback. We've seen the Riverhounds doing a good job over the last 5 minutes or so getting to that final third, but just the efficiency needs to be higher.
Surprised that all this game has been as tight as it is considering the circumstances? Did you expect it to be a little bit more open?
You always expect a little bit of a feeling out period, but through the first 15 minutes, you would expect there to be a little bit more attacking style of football, especially with the messaging from both of the coaches that we had the ability to speak with. We're starting to see the Riverhounds getting a little bit of a rhythm, understanding the areas that they can really exploit this Portland back line, especially through Junior Etu, who's been really aggressive on this near side. They have 2 left backs with Messer and Etu that can provide a lot of quality once they do get to that final third. So do not be surprised if we see Varela for Portland Hearts of Pine come century to number 1 and create an overload, but also give Messer the avenue to be higher and create an overload in that wide parts of the field as well.
Jacqueline switching. Kept alive by Charles All. Put his head in harm's way on the high boot from Mo Mohammed. All Etu. for Luke Biasi. Out wide again for Charles All. In on that right foot, All looking at goal, whipping it, the header off target. Would have been interesting had Danny Griffin not gotten a piece of that, if it would have curled in at the back post or if Oladapo had it covered. But we will never know.
Really well done here from All. Notice how he's going to show, once this ball comes to him, that he's going to put it in. Now he creates his own little pocket of space. And that ball is a massive cause of concern for Oladapo with the traffic right in front of him. If you're Danny Griffin and you do elect to make a play on this ball, just simply misguide it, or just re-guide it, into that back post.
You don't want to misguide it. You want to properly guide it.
There you go. You know what I try to say. But it's been better for the Riverhounds, getting numbers higher up the field, being a little bit more aggressive for Bob Lilly's side.
It's an interesting dynamic down this near side for Pittsburgh. Biasi is typically a wing back. Etu is usually a wing back. Charles All is usually a winger. You've got them all playing together right now. This one fed the other way for Portland and cleared. We have three guys there who are all comfortable coming off of that wing. Really interchanging freely to some extent. Varela, too much on it. Out for a goal kick. USL on CBS Sports Network wraps up July with a championship showdown. Eastern Conference. Hartford Athletic taking on Western Conference New Mexico United. That is Wednesday, July 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network. We're giving away, playing out of the back here by Pittsburgh. Going for a goal save made by Rudolph. Still loose in front of Varela. Skies it over the bar. Oh, Jacob Randolph with a terrific stop, denying Evan Southern. A mess made off the goal kick by Pittsburgh.
It's about the third time that this ball has been pumped into Etsu, and he does not do a good job at just seeing the pressure, but this is some strike, and even better save from Randolph to push it wide of his far post. But now once this ball comes to Varela, you just need composure. There's no need to try to go for power from about 8 yards out. You put it on target, it's 1-0 Portland Hearts of Pine. But good start in terms of their aggressive high press for the home side here.
That's how you make the most of an opportunity if you're Jacob Randolph. Goalkeeper, always the toughest position to crack. We talk about this all the time. If you're an outside back, well, there's two of those, and you sub freely during a game. Unless there's a red card or an injury, you're not subbing a goalkeeper. So if you're a goalkeeper and you're a backup, opportunities are few and far between, especially if you're Jacob Randolph playing behind reigning goalkeeper of the year, Eric Dick. Making the most of his opportunity tonight. Randolph.
And now it's in terms of the communication for Randolph. It's about the third time that we've seen Super Biasi just try to force the ball in to Junior Etu, especially when he has traffic oncoming. No need to try to overcomplicate things. Just play a line higher. Have the personality to find Alt, to find Garcia, or even play direct into Jacqueline. Because as you continue to play these little short passes, that is a trigger for Portland Hearts of Pine, because they're going to continue to press and be aggressive.
It's been a little bit of an issue communication-wise, it seems like, down this near side for Pittsburgh. A couple of giveaways that have nearly cost them. New Mexico Hartford game, by the way, next Wednesday on CBS Sports Network. Got some more juice today. Valentin Noel, who was an all-league player last year for Vegas, guided them to a conference final. Now reunited with his former head coach out there, Dennis Sanchez, now with New Mexico. That is a seismic move in USL Championship that came down the pipeline today.
I'd argue can completely change the landscape.
That's what seismic means.
In the Western Conference.
Matty James trying to find his way through. Randolph clears. Jacqueline, it just doesn't feel comfortable out there. Bertrand Jacqueline, not in the same way at least that he was last year when things were clicking, and you've been there. As a striker, it's more mental than anything else. You get the first one, that first one becomes 5, but he got that one at the beginning of the month in Jaeger Cup against Westchester, and you thought maybe from there the floodgates would open. Hasn't gone that way for Jacqueline.
Just need more movement, more confidence going forward for Jacqueline, and as a striker, when you're going through this rough spell or not having the ability to find the back of the net, you have to continue to work hard and continue to control what you can control, which is your work rate, but also your attitude. So big opportunity for him, and look for his movement once the players underneath him get on the ball to try to supply him some service. He scored a great goal against Westchester through his movement. You're see more of that if you are Bob Lilly.
And that all came about down the left side. Etu leading the way. Nice passing combination. I believe it was Robbie Mertz, Jr. Etu, and then finally linking up with Berton Jacqueson. Robbie Mertz in the equation tonight for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. He gets a well-deserved evening off. They do have a couple of regulars to turn to on the bench as this game goes on. Jackson Walty, Augie Williams, Guillaume Vactor on the back line with Beto Idrach, and Perrin Barnes as a wingback. The only two non-regulars for Pittsburgh on the bench are Brigham Larson and Pablo Linzoine. So all in all, Bob Lilly, as we talked about early, trying to tiptoe that line between wanting to give guys some much-needed rest tonight while also wanting to make sure they don't have a break in their momentum ahead of that Tuesday fixture coming up next week against Miami. Muhammad looking long for Natty James. Hasn't found his feet as much as Portland Hearts of Pine would like. Natty James, I alluded to it. You and I spotlighted him top of the broadcast as the player to watch when he subbed in against the United States in Gold Cup in the group opener. He gave them all sorts of fits. They subbed off Chris Richards because he simply couldn't keep up with him. Granted, the score was already out of hand, so it was an opportunity for the U.S. to get Miles Robinson in, keep pace with Natty James. But there was a couple of camera shots of Chris Richards that day, who is a first-class center back. I mean, he was just looking confused having to go up against Natty James and dealing with that speed and dealing with his just abilities on the ball. Haven't really seen it tonight. They'd like to get him on at more number 47 for Portland.
7 touches for Natty James through the first 26 minutes here. Just not good enough for a player of his quality. We've seen glimpses of how good he can be, whether it is playing in tight spaces to combine, but also so good 1v1, so explosive going forward. So for the second half of the USL League One season, look for Natty James to be a massive factor for Portland Hearts of Pine if they want to continue to push higher up the table.
12 caps, 4 goals, 3 assists for Natty James. For Trinidad and Tobago, just 21 years of age. Biasi. Pittsburgh are seeing a lot more of the ball than they're accustomed to this evening. It's Broughton dispossessed and commits the foul. Free kick coming out for Portland.
Just the spacing a little bit off, especially on that right-hand side for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. If Borgia comes centrally now, Broughton has the ability to be direct. But both players are getting caught on the same plane, so that gives Nathan Messer a very easy job because he just needs to stay at home and he'll take both of those players out of the game.
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. And these seats have been some of the hardest to come by in the USL ecosystem over these last few months. The videos have been circulating on social media. 6,000 strong, game in, game out. Voyage so far in the Jägermeister Cup for this Portland side has seen them going up against USL Championship teams with regularity. They started with a 2-0 loss against Hartford, and they beat Detroit City 4-2 and fell 4-1 against Rhode Island. Disappointing Jägermeister Cup on the other side for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They lost by identical 1-0 score lines against Detroit City and then Rhode Island, and they beat Westchester by that same 1-0 scoreline. Goals have been at a premium both for and against Pittsburgh this year. That is typically the case. To use tonight, though, as an opportunity to get out of that offensive rut just a little bit. let their hair down in a way and just go for it. But I don't think that's in their DNA. As much as we can talk about that with Bob Lilly and wanting to just go for it a little bit tonight, wanting to find more goals, build that confidence. Look out here, misplay by Oladapo, takes down the player. What color is this card? It is a free kick just outside the area, and the color is red. Wasn't quite sure if Edson Carvajal would deem it to be a last man situation because there was another defender roughly in the vicinity, but he saw it that way. Cash Oladapo is off. Portland down to 10, and a free kick coming for Pittsburgh.
This little bit of confusion between Wright and Oladapo gives all the ability to be direct, just to come underneath him. But I'll tell you what, it does seem like Wright is quickly to recognize and just drops behind the goalkeeper. It should be a yellow card. Unless Edson Carvajal, like you mentioned, Joe, says that Oladapo was the last player denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity. He should be seeing red, which he deems. But it very clearly, Wright drops in and just provides a little bit of security blanket and behind the goalkeeper.
The very next step that was taken in that case by Charles All had him pretty much run into Shandon Wright. And that's perhaps what Portland players are arguing here. I think I would have erred on the side of a yellow with you in that instance. I don't know that it was clear and obvious that it would have been a clear-cut goal because Wright was there. There is no VAR in this competition in USL, so the call made is the call that stands. Hunter Morse is the typical #1 goalkeeper for Portland, so what was supposed to be a night off for their #1 guy turns into at least an hour's worth of play here, and perhaps penalties beyond that.
Just want you to watch the movement of number 19 right here. Right, he drops in. You can even make the argument that there's a secondary defender too, Vinberg dropping in. So Oladapo is clearly not the last player for Portland Hearts of Pine. I think Pittsburgh Riverhounds get away with one here as they will play with a man advantage for the remainder of this match.
It is Mickey Riley who is sacrificed here for Hunter Morris. Substitution brought to you by $3 Dewey's. There's Morris, 14 starts in the regular season. A 1.00 goals against average, save percentage near 75%. MLS draft pick in 2023 after he was MAC goalkeeper of the year at Western Michigan. Went on to FC Cincinnati, now here with Portland. He's their main guy. Again, supposed to be a night off. Cash Oladapo has been their cup keeper. Their top keeper thrust into action. They don't have another on the bench, so better hope he's going to go the rest of the way, or we are going to get weird here this evening in the Jägermeister Cup. An ensuing free kick for Pittsburgh. Jorge Garcia sets it up. Garcia looks most poised to strike it. It is Garcia right into the wall. Headed back on toward Jacqueline. Morse has it, no trouble. So no harm, no foul off the ensuing free kick, but Portland now has to navigate the next hour down a man.
Takes Portland Hearts of Pine to go into a 4-4-1 formation. So Southern will drop into the right-hand side, which will play Natty James as the lone striker. Big challenge for Natty James in terms of his hold-up play and just occupying the back line for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Now you start to see a little bit of sense of the maturity and experience coming to the front foot for Bobby Murphy and players that he needs and can look up to trust as they look at adversity.
Flipped over the top by Suber. Jacqueline knocks it down. All looking wide for Etu. All. Just as you and I were saying, that it's an opportunity for Pittsburgh to let their hair down a bit. Although it's not really in their DNA, they are so defense-focused. Here's your chance. Whipped in, looking back post, skimmed along, out of play. You're on the road in a game that doesn't amount to anything other than being a glorified friendly. You're up a man. This is your chance to just go for it. If you concede, you concede. Opportunity to get out of that offensive rut as Biasi looks for Etu, and it's out for a goal kick.
First look needs to be forward now every single time for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Try to play into Garcia, Jacqueline, get those players more involved and more influential Borgi as well has been really quiet on the right-hand side. So if you're Bob Lilly, the messaging for Danny Griffin and Bradley Sample, which will be the engine to try to find the opening goal, is your first look needs to be forward. And if you have the ability to break a line or play direct, you need to take it.
Success measured on a sliding relative scale, but it almost feels like if this doesn't turn into a multi-goal evening now for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, in some respects it might feel like a lost game. Both teams eliminated from the Jägermeister Cup. Pittsburgh cruising now in the regular season, largely on the efforts of their defending. It's the one thing Bob Lilly has continued to hammer home. You and I have had a chance to talk to him a few times these last couple of weeks, being on their games. They want the scoring to start coming in droves and be a little bit less arduous to find these moments, find these goals. If you win this 1-0, great. It's still a win. It still keeps the positive vibes going, but up a man against a lower division side, yes, on the road, yes, a solid lower division side. Doesn't feel like anything but a multi-goal game now would be a success for Pittsburgh.
And what can't happen is you have Garcia, your number 10, just dropping, trying to get some more touches. That's exactly what Bob Lilly is signaling to him. You need to stay as high as you can and just to play underneath Jacobson, to supply him the ball. Because when players, especially attacking players, start to get a little bit more frustrated that they're not seeing and getting touches, they want to drop in, they want to go and search the opposite. Stay high, occupy the center backs, and try to get on the end of service. That's what you're brought into this team to do, to produce goals, to produce assists. So by doing that, you need to stay closer to the goal.
Pittsburgh at this point still don't have a shot on target. 65% of the possession. Expect that to grow now up a man. How did Portland respond? Can they still find opportunities of their own? Talk about what this means for Pittsburgh, but for Portland, it's an opportunity to test your defending against a higher level opponent. Down a man. Situational football. What do you do down a man for this long? Can you navigate? Can you manage? We just talk about implementing these scenarios situationally in training all the time, but doing it in training versus doing it in an actual real live game against a real live opponent, much different story.
How many times have we seen a team that has a man advantage for a large portion of the game actually get outplayed by the team at a disadvantage because mentally players think that they have more time and start to become a little bit more complacent, taking a third, taking a fourth touch and just slowing the game down. It's actually the opposite. You need to speed up the game. You need to move the ball extremely quick from left to right and make your opposition chase and really show the advantage that you have. That gap starts to open up. That's when you can really penetrate, especially in central locations, because you're going to see a lot of this. 10 players behind the ball for Portland Hearts of Pine, trying to make life very difficult for the Riverhounds, and that is exactly what you cannot have happen if you are Bradley Sample, just trying to overplay, keep the ball moving, and keep things simple.
It does feel at some point, depending on how things go in the second half, that Bobby Murphy just sort of hits that button and throws caution to the wind. One of the parts of our conversation was just entertaining the fans. You've got 6,000 strong on a Friday night. Yes, the game means nothing mathematically, but it's an opportunity to once again put on a show for these faithful that have been out here in the opening couple of months of this club's existence. So even down a man, you wouldn't put it past them to still open up at some point in this one.
And what a story that would be. So down a man against the USL Championship club just to go and still try to play attacking style of football, still try to entertain the thousands in attendance here. And you look at the bench as well. Ollie Wright, Chris Washington, Kamara, players that can really bring people to the end of their seat and provide some exciting football.
Southern whips it through just beyond Varela. Long run to try and keep it in. He gives up on it, and Poon Angeron didn't seem to like that. From Poon Angeron's perspective, he seemed to think Varela could get there. Body language not great there. I don't think he's wrong either. It seemed like Varela had an opportunity to get to that one. Punanjaron fighting to win it back, but nobody in a green and blue jersey there. It's Etu instead. Etu carrying. Here's Charles All once again cutting in on that right foot. Lays it off. Griffin. Jacquesin for Borgi. Jacquesin serving. Biasi, good ball ahead, looking for Jacquesin. Offside flag comes up, didn't matter. Hunter Morris had it covered.
Really difficult ball to play. If you are Luke Biasi, you need to be perfect in terms of the weight to just drop it in behind Nathan Messer here. Jacquesin about a second quick off of his line, but great recognition from Morris just to command his box and take the contact in the end.
Pittsburgh has continued to just control this, especially after going up a man. Looking long for Etu. Keeps it in play, off balance, not much he could do with it. Beyond Messer, given away, but right back to Portland, out for a throw. Seems like Pittsburgh have had some issues with how narrow this pitch is. Something, again, that Bob Lilly knew ahead of time. Chatted with Danny Dicchio of Detroit City last week after their matchup about it. Always looking ahead, Coach Bob Lilly. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Messer down the left wing. James calling for it centrally. Messer feeding it now. Biasi intercepts. Part of it could be just the fact they're down a man now, but Portland don't seem to have that same confidence in their attack right now. They are also missing, as you pointed out earlier, some guys who were on the bench in Ali Wright, JT Kamara, Titus Washington, who completely changed the dynamic of their attack. But it just seems like they're second-guessing themselves whenever they get into the attacking half, attacking third. Ball is always maybe a little bit too late, or it's the wrong pass. Factor in also being down a man now. All adds up for what has been a sloppy attacking first half on the Portland side.
But you look at the front three, or the trio attacking players for Portland Hearts of Pine. Want the ball to feed, they want to combine, they want to run. You don't really have that physical number 9 that you can just play into, and he's going to hold off the opposition and just allow the team to come underneath and support them. So if you do have the ability to break a first line of pressure for Portland Hearts of Pine, you need to be quick and you need to be decisive, especially if you are Nathan Messer, the left back that we saw moments ago. If you can take that first touch and then whip a ball in, that will be to the benefit of Natty James, who's probably quicker than the back line of the Riverhounds. But if you take a second, you take a third touch and just slow it down a tiny bit, that's going to give Subert, Biasi, Broughton, and Etu the better body position just to shift in front of Natty James. It's like right now, you need to go quick if you are Punanjaron.
Messer back for Punanjaron. Langlois to Shannon Wright. Oh, Muhammad. Over Langwa, surveying, feeds it ahead. Evan Southern cutting in on Etu. Southern deflected, well defended by Etu. Quickly the other way from Bradley Sample. Too long for Jacqueson and cleared by Morse. Griffin. Orgy skies it. And it curled out of play. Substitution patterns will be interesting in this one now that you throw the wild card of the red card in there. For Pittsburgh, do you, from the jump out of the gates at halftime, want to bring somebody like Augie Williams in, try and get his confidence going with a goal against a team that's down a man? For Portland, on a night where you maybe were envisioning Ali Wright, JT Kamara, Titus Washington being your fresh legs around the hour mark, does that still ring true, or are you more defensive down a man? Things for the coaches to figure out coming up at halftime. Halftime will be 3 minutes away. Stoppage time presented by Visit Maine. 3 additional minutes tacked on.
Especially tactically for Portland Hearts of Pine and Bobby Murphy, a player we should not be surprised to see sooner rather than later, just with the adversity of this game, is going to be Titus Washington, because he's going to be that profile.
Bent in, Jacqueson, the first touch, going for a goal, save made by Morse. Flag stayed down, great ball bent in. Jacqueson just could not finish it off, and Morse gets his first save since subbing on.
Fantastic recognition here from Jacqueson, just to come off the shoulder between Wright and Vinberg. But as he takes his first touch, the second one needs to move with his left foot. More natural position, natural movement. As you try to take your first touch and a shot with your right foot, give Vinberg that little bit of a second to come across and just deny a goal-scoring opportunity.
Corner brought to you by Tom's of Maine. This is the first corner of the evening for either side. Bent in, back post, still loose in front, saved off the line. Still alive. Garcia lost it. Messer clears it. That draws something out of the crowd, and Natty James almost slipped through.
Great ball in. It's not the initial action, it's a secondary. Bertrand Jacqueson does everything right here. It creates enough power in terms of his timing, how he meets the ball. And this is all about the recognition from Nathan Messer, just to play almost as the second goalkeeper and to keep this thing 0-0.
It's frustrating as a striker. You do what you're supposed to do. You get a header that's probably landing side netting, but it doesn't matter because there's an extra defender there instead of the goalkeeper.
That's such a big piece of Portland Hearts of Pine. Nathan Messer, the left back, doing a little bit of everything to provide real quality once he does get to that final third. 2 goals, 1 assist, but also example A of him in terms of his defensive duties as well.
Portland have been down a man since the 29th minute. Pittsburgh starting to show some more force in the attack. Time whistle imminent. And there is the whistle to end this first half. A lot to ruminate on at the break for both these managers, considering the way the first half went and considering Portland down a man.
A lot left to be desired if you are Bob Lilly, especially getting themselves into that final third. A man advantage, not creating enough in the attacking phase. You need more out of Jacqueline, Garcia, Borgi, and all. That attacking four players needs to produce more going forward. And for Bobby Murphy, now it's an opportunity just to show a little bit of grit and personality all to play for in the second 45 minutes.
Game that doesn't really count for anything here, but certainly matters to these fans. It matters for both these clubs looking to build momentum going into their respective playoff races. Scoreless at the break here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. Halftime brought to you by Hannaford. It is 0-0 at the break between Portland and Pittsburgh.
Sounds low. All right. So elbows back.
Most homeowners have it somewhere in their house. It's that one bad window. It's drafty, or maybe it sticks or leaks. You'd love to replace it, but think, no company is coming out for just one lousy window. And truthfully, most companies won't. But we're Renewal by Andersen, and we'll replace just one window. Call Renewal by Andersen today for a free window and door diagnosis. 207-804-4500.
Partnership means a lot of things in this business, and that's the most important thing, is being in a business relationship with someone that you trust, and that's what Mimic does. We want to make sure that everyone is getting exactly what they need, and we want it to be a long-term relationship. At Mimic, we want to lower their total cost of risk, and we want to get those employees back to work whenever we can. At Mimic, we make workers' comp work better.
At PAPE, we've dedicated over 50 years to making sure you do better. That means better prices you can always count on. It means you'll find extensive inventory. It means you can expect top-notch service. And most of all, it means you'll work with a team that listens to what you need and makes it a priority. So why are we so driven to make sure you do better? Because at PAPE, the only thing we love more than cars is people.
Welcome into the Hannaford halftime show. Scoreless at the break between Portland and Pittsburgh, though Portland is down a man after a 29th minute red card. Neither of these teams able to go through to the quarterfinal here in Jägermeister Cup, but here is how it'll work. The draw was conducted last week. The Group 4 winner, which we'll find out tomorrow, Hartford, Rhode Island, will get the first wildcard team in Jägermeister Cup.
Fantastic stuff what the USL has been able to do just to give teams opportunities from the USL Championship, USL League One, and as we've seen through this Jägermeister Cup, the gap is not that big. It's an opportunity for players to move up and down, to showcase themselves, but also just to see the quality grow from within of USL.
Standings are brought to you by LL Bean here in Group 4. As I tomorrow. Well, these teams have a lot of players, a lot of international flair. We've seen a lot of players go from that USL stage to the global stage.
The 2025 soccer summer has provided big moments on big stages, and the USL has played a major role. June's CONCACAF Gold Cup included a dozen current players from USL clubs, 9 from the Championship, 3 from League One. 7 of those players logged a total of more than 1,000 minutes. Las Vegas Lights' Edison Azcona scored a goal for the Dominican Republic, and the player that grabbed the spotlight was Guatemala's Rubio Rubin. The Charleston Battery forward scored and assisted a goal in a must-win match against Guadalupe, but Rubin was not finished. A perfect header in Guatemala's quarterfinal match against favored Canada set up a penalty kick shootout upset. League One's presence was also felt in the Gold Cup. Portland Hearts of Pine's Natty James played more than 120 minutes for Trinidad and Tobago. And it's these kinds of numbers that helped Rubio Rubin decide to return to USL.
Over the years, this league has only gotten more competitive. That creates an environment where, national teams, especially in CONCACAF, call players, playing in this league.
In September, Rubin and Guatemala begin their final push to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. 9 more of those USL Gold Cup players are hoping for that phone call, itching to play as many minutes as possible.
That's something that is spoken about in the national team always with the head coaches. If you're scoring goals and you're assisting, helping your team, it's going to help you with the national team.
Loose in front, put home! Riverhounds go on top.
Warren takes the shot, a banger to put Orange County up 3-1.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines. From early mornings to late nights. From fun with friends to winner takes all. From the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
3 ice-cold Jägermeister shots, please. Those look warm.
Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold.
Welcome back into the Hannaford halftime show, scoreless between Portland and Pittsburgh. This is the appetizer for 17 games in Jägermeister Cup tomorrow. Some news and notes to talk about here in USL League One and Championship. You got some League One teams who have a mathematical opportunity to advance and represent League One in the knockout stage of the Jägermeister Cup. That draw was done on CBS Sports Golazo this past week. We showed it to you in that last segment, the 6 group winners paired against each other or against the wildcards. But the big news with Kyle Scott leaving Orange County midseason, big opportunity for them to sell him off to Crawley Town FC in England. They're going to miss him going forward.
Yeah, big-time player for Orange County, can do a little bit of everything, whether it is playing direct, playing in between lines. Kyle Scott already has spent time in England in the Chelsea Academy, but once they brought in Stephen Kelly, he was going to be always a preferred number 6 for Danny Silm. So Kyle Scott, congratulations on your move. Well deserved, and all the best going forward.
A lot to talk about right now around USL. We could have a lot to talk about here in this second half. Portland down a man, but still 0-0 against Pittsburgh. Second half on the way.
At LL Bean, we've been innovating for over a century, making great products better so you can feel better. Day after day, year after year. Outside together since 1912. LL Bean, be an outsider.
I'm David Libby, President and CEO of Town & Country Federal Credit Union. At Town & Country, we work hard to make a difference every day. From providing a first auto loan to that young adult just starting out, or making the dream of home ownership a reality with a mortgage offering closing costs well below nearly every other local lender, or a Visa credit card with a great rate. Town & Country Federal Credit Union is local people helping local people. Let us help you.
Soccer, more than any other sport, brings together fans of different backgrounds, different cultures, different communities, and makes them one community.
Has anyone ever seen anything like this? It's magic. There's no other word for it. It's magic happening here in Portland.
This is history. This is momentous.
We officially have professional soccer in the great state of Maine.
Tonight's halftime is presented by Jägermeister. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. And by Allagash. Let's take a look at highlights from this first half. The score sheet for Pittsburgh. Stats are brought to you by Memic. It pretty much mimics what we saw from those first 45 with our eyes.
Especially through the possession, 64% in favor of the Riverhounds. But once you do get to that final third, it needs to be quicker, it needs to be more decisive. And you know Bob Lilly is going to say something to try to get a reaction out of his side. For Portland Hearts of Pine, You have to dig down, you have to show a little bit of grit, show a little bit of fight and what it means to play for the Crest, to give these thousands in attendance something to cheer on.
One change at the break for Pittsburgh. Guillaume Vactor came on for Luke Biasi. Substitutions brought to you by $3 Deweys. And we are underway in half number 2. Pittsburgh left to right in the white and yellow. Portland right to left in the green and blue. Second sub in there as well for the Riverhounds. Sees Bradley Sample come off the field for Jackson Walty, so 2 changes in all. Walty and Vactor on, Sample and Biasi off. Subs brought to you by $3 Deweys. Good to have you with us on ESPN Plus. Alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa from Fitzpatrick Stadium in Portland, Maine. Still scoreless between these two sides. Portland down a man. And Hunter Morse sends it long. Now into the match again after that first half red card against Cash Oladapo.
Good ball.
Second one, not so much. You jinxed it.
Did not. I said the first one was good. Said nothing about the second one.
Very curious how Portland responds, how they handle this half down a man. From this crowd, nothing to lose in this tournament here.
Have to imagine the messaging for Bobby Murphy was trying. The top priority was just to give their fans something to cheer on, just to entertain them, saying that the 6,000 plus here spent their hard work money just to come and support Portland Hearts of Pine and get back to the community. The way that you can make them come back is try to play attacking style football, to give your full effort. Something that is very evident. And you have the ability to speak with the head coach, how proud he is of the culture they've built and continue to build here.
Launched long by Morse. Powerful header through by Vactor, who again subbed on at the break for Pittsburgh. It's interesting what Lily has in store for this second half. At some point, it'll materialize a bit more. We could speak more to it, but bringing on Vactor for Biasi is interesting. It's like for like on the map right now because they're in this 4-back set today, and Biasi was operating as a center back, but stylistically, Vactor's more of a true center back. Biasi was still joining the attack in some regards as Vactor splits this one through. So I wonder if Bob Lilly has seen this and shifted more to a 3-back again with the wing-back look. And what exactly he has in store up a man in this second half.
Especially when building out, they're going to build out in a 3-back system, so the back 3 will be brought in Suber and Vactor, which it gives Junior Atsu, top side of your screen, the ability to be aggressive, as well as Borgi, who will provide that right wing-back position. The theory in doing that now, as you make the field as wide as you possibly can, which will allow Garcia, Griffin, Walty, and all to almost be as a box underneath Gerson Jacobson.
And it is only about a 64, 65-ish yard field in terms of the width, so it is not a lot of width to work with. Corner brought to you by Tom's of Maine. First of the second half for Pittsburgh. Between these two sides combined. A corner in that first half. Pittsburgh nearly scored off of it. That header from Jacobson that was saved off the line by Messer. Whipped in by Garcia. Another good service headed away by Messer. The volley comes in, saved by Morse. Still loose for Griffin. Saved again. Still loose, scramble in front. Player sitting on it. Jacobson stabs at it, and it deflected over the bar. Pardon me, they say he just scooped it over. It'll be a goal kick.
Two real good looks here for the Riverhounds. First, it falls. So Borgi does a nice job at creating contact and hitting it clean. The same thing for Danny Griffin, but if you're Morse, you need to parry it wide. You cannot gave not one but two bites of the apple for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds right in front of your goal mouth. As a goalkeeper, you're always taught to parry it away from traffic, and as right, the center back almost sits on it. Makes life very difficult for Jackson to get any sort of angle to put it on target.
I think he had a real argument there, Jackson, that it should have been a corner. I don't know if the laws of physics would have allowed him to put it out of play on his own without it taking a deflection there, but
two good strikes from the Riverhounds straight at Morris. But set pieces, when you are struggling to create through the run of play, are a fantastic way to kickstart your attacking phase of play.
Almost split through. Now it bounces favorably for Garcia. Griffin settles. Left for Borgi. Griffin overlap to the end line. Griffin feeds in front. Losing the doorstep. Was there again for Garcia and Jackson, and neither could get it home.
You need someone slashing across that near post there. It's textbook striking play for Bertrand Jackson.
Player down right now is Shandon Wright in the box for Portland. Pittsburgh haven't played it out, but now the play stopping.
Just want you to watch the movement right in the center of your screen. Bertrand Jackson tries to make that near post run, but Wright does a really clever job. Just playing body to body and not allowing the striker to slash across him.
Shandon Wright is the one who ended up with the yellow card out of that whole equation. He was the one down, which led to the play stopping, but he's the one who ends up with his name in the book.
So if you're a striker in that situation, Bertrand Jackson, your top priority is try to get across that near post. And if there's a defender just grabbing you and holding you, now you have to play the game within the game. You go down and you force the issue of Edison Carvajal. Especially with Wright on a yellow card, continue to put pressure on the center back.
Danny James wants it. Varela hits it. Randolph saves it. If one thing's clear from the first few minutes of this second half, Pittsburgh are going for it. Put a lot of pressure already on Portland. 3-4 grade A goal-scoring opportunities just in the first few minutes of this second half. And looking for more. Dangerous touch taken by Garcia, blocked. Walty still with it, looking through for Griffin. Bounces around, volleyed by Garcia, saved by Morse.
Just more space to operate in, especially in central location from Jackson Walsey. Then Danny Griffin comes involved. And as this ball pops out, it's instinctual for Bertrand Jackson just to hit it first time. So that is a positive sign if you're Bob Lilly. The confidence there to pull the trigger, but now you just need to have the composure to pick your spot. Doesn't hit it as cleanly as he would like it. It's an easy save for Moores in the end.
It's already 4 shots on target in the 8 minutes of this second half for Pittsburgh. Just 1 in the entirety of that first half. Now finally playing and looking like a team who have been up a man since the midway point of the first half. Some housekeeping, backtracking to when the yellow is shown to Shandon Wright. Bertrand Jackson did also pick up a yellow. Yellow cards are brought to you by the law offices of Joe Bornstein. intensity and the physicality starting to pick up. No history between these teams. A game that doesn't really count for anything. Both are eliminated, but it keeps coming back to that phrase we use in the conversation with Bob Lilly. It doesn't count, but it matters. There's intensity, there's urgency. Players jockeying for starting positions and maybe for that next contract with their current club or another club. Every time you step foot between the lines, it matters, and you have to put your best foot forward. And in the crucible of competition, things heat up, things boil over. We're starting to get to that point in this game. That went out for a goal kick.
You and I have the luxury to speak with a lot of the coaches in USL League One and as well as USL Championship. And they echo the same thing. They want to bring in good people into their building, but they also want to bring winners. No matter the circumstances, no matter the environment, the adversity, every time, like you mentioned, Joe, you walk across that white line, it's an opportunity to win. You have to put your best foot forward in terms of your mentality, in terms of your effort. And that's what we're starting to see, especially in this second half, how much it means personally to these players just in terms of them being competitive.
Communication there as Shandon Wright steps in and clears. Hunter Morris was ready to come out and grab it. Max Broughton, Sean Suber, Guillaume Vactor. Worked all the way around to Junior Etu and ahead for Charles All. All serving back post, nobody home. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk. That includes USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, you get live matches from the USL, MLS Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Go back and listen to this past Tuesday's episode of All Access. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr ran through a lot of the Jägermeister Cup scenarios that we'll see come into play tomorrow. 17 games in all. None of the 6 group winners have their spots clinched yet. Anybody's guess for the wild card. You could look at the table of the wild card teams in contention. Mathematically speaking, there's about 15 or 16 teams. Realistically speaking, there's about 11 teams vying for those 2 wild card spots. Even so, that is still a wild number for the final day. There is no possible way to calculate all the different outcomes. I should take that back. You get somebody from MIT, you could probably figure out all the possible outcomes. But between all the teams alive, the tiebreakers, the fact of no official ties, you get the shootout for the bonus points. You could have some teams that pull 2 points from tomorrow instead of 3 or 1. Forget it. You'd be up all night trying to figure out all the possibilities. You can ask AI if you want to, I suppose.
ChatGPT. As a neutral is exactly what you want in this Jägermeister Cup. Teams that have the ability to advance, and in doing so, they need to score. They need to put the ball in the back of the net, and that is exactly the thought process behind the first tiebreaker. Teams going at it. You do not want teams sitting deep, parking the bus, playing more defensive. You want to produce attacking style of football. You want to produce entertainment, and we have just that.
And this is not the first Jägermeister Cup. We saw it last year. It was only a USL League One vehicle last year. This is the first year Championship has evolved, and there were instances on the final day of group matches last year where teams really just threw caution to the wind and gave up 3-4 goals at the expense of scoring 4-5 goals. End line here, fed in front. Lofted over the top. Missed by Borgi. Trying to chest it down and set it up for a teammate, but never made contact, and it was cleared. So you could see that tomorrow. You could see teams that really don't care about conceding. Teams that maybe they're up 3-0 and they're still throwing caution to the wind. Oh, you scored 2 and you made it 3-2? Great. Here's 2 more for us, and now it's 5-2, and we have the goals we need. Charles All. Junior Etu delivering in front, wrong side of the post for Pittsburgh as Portland prepare to make 2 changes of their own.
Just the spacing has created so much opportunity going forward for the Riverhounds. Danny Griffin has been that single pivot right in front of the back four, which gives all Walty and Garcia the ability to fill in the gaps underneath Bertrand Jacques. That's 4 real options crashing the top of the 18-yard box, putting immense pressure on Portland Hearts of Pine's back line.
2 of the subs we expected. We were seeing Ollie Wright coming on, as is Titus Washington. Snatty James and Walter Varela departing the action here. Titus Washington, 2 goals, 2 assists in the regular season. Ollie Wright, 3 goals, 3 assists in the regular season. 2 sets of fresh legs in the attack for a team that's down a man. That tells you where Bobby Murphy's head is at. All subs brought to you by $3 Deweys.
Going to go after this game now. Bobby Murphy and Portland Hearts of Pine. Ollie Wright, specifically a 1v1 type of player, likes to combine, but also wants to provide the width in terms of his isolation and put his individual marker on his heels. And Titus Washington, he's going to give you work rate. He's going to give you, more importantly, a focal point to play into and hold up the ball. So 2 attacking-minded subs for Bobby Murphy and Portland Heights of Pine, trying to go and get a goal here.
Beyond the hour mark now, half hour remains, and possibly penalties beyond that. Remember, no true ties here in the Jägermeister Cup. If we're tied after 90, we go directly to a shootout. Whoever wins that shootout picks up a bonus point. It would again just be shootout practice for these 2 teams here tonight. Neither can factor into the wild card mathematics and mental gymnastics that we'll have to do tomorrow. Both these teams already eliminated. Don't tell that to these fans. Sure, if we got to a shootout, should it go that way, they would be starting to crowd whichever goal we end up kicking toward. Clipped by Borgia to the back post. Punanger on the first to it. Washington's first touches, he's brought down.
Exactly what you get from Washington. Big physical hold-up play. Now it allows his team just to take the sting out of the Riverhounds' attacking game, get some players higher up the field, and just press the reset button and breathe.
Pittsburgh have not been threatened defensively in this second half. Portland down a man have been the side forced to do a lot of the defending. Borgi. At 2. Walty. It's been quiet for Danny Griffin in this one, but he's been in a bit of a more reserved role. One of his rare days this year as a true defensive midfielder. He's been pushed further up the formation many times this year for Pittsburgh. So not hearing his name is not necessarily a bad thing today, just playing a bit of a different role. He's forced to defend here as Ollie Wright just takes it and goes with it, plays it through, flag stays down, chance for Portland! Titus Washington gives Portland the lead! Down a man, no problem. Ollie Wright, Titus Washington, the subs send this crowd into a frenzy.
The 2 players that Bobby Murphy brings on for a moment like this, but this is all about the individual brilliance of Ollie Wright right here to send Subert to his ground. But as he cuts back, all he's trying to do is let this play develop, and now he just gives Factor the eyes. Factor has no idea where Titus Washington is. He makes a run off of his shoulder. It's a picture-perfect ball, an even better finish from the striker to let it come across his body and simply just step into it and roof it. Great goal for Portland Hearts of Pine. 1-0 here at home.
Just listen to that crowd and what it means to them as they celebrate. Goals brought to you by Town & Country. Titus Washington in his first year as a professional out of Seattle University. First team All-WAC player last year. 8 goals, 8 assists in 20 games. Production hasn't been quite at that level as a pro. 2 goals, 2 assists in the regular season. He's added some contributions like this in Jägermeister Cup. He's one of those guys that Bobby Murphy spotlighted as being able to use tonight as an opportunity against a higher level opponent from the USL Championship. He makes his moment count shortly after subbing on. Evan Southern picks up the yellow. At 2, how did Pittsburgh get it back? Looking back post for a goal kick. This is going to be a good test now for Pittsburgh to see if they can get more frantic and respond in kind. The 2 subs, though, coming from the Portland side. That'll be all for Evan Southern and Michel Pounangeron. Although that'll exhaust the substitutions as well. Here for Portland, all subs brought to you by $3 Dewey's. JT Kamara coming on for Evan Southern. Masashi Wada entering for Pounangeron.
Wada's going to play next to Lingwall, who's going to sit a little bit deeper now and be that destroyer in front of the back four. And Kamara, much like Ollie Wright, very 1v1 oriented player, likes to play on his left foot, so he's going to look to come centrally and try to open up the game.
Penny for the thoughts of Bob Lilly right now. On a day where the emphasis for Pittsburgh was on getting this offensive rut to be a thing in the past for the Riverhounds, and you get a gift in the 29th minute of Portland going down a man. Here we are 40 minutes later, still without a goal for Pittsburgh. Still plenty of time to get on the score sheet, but now having to do so from behind as well. Free kick could help their cause.
Well, from a corner kick in that first half that we saw Jackson have a free header from about 4 yards out. Not the initial ball can cause some concern. It can be the secondary wave here. So if you're all, this ball needs to be lifted to that back post area, looking down, looking for a knockdown and a secondary action here.
Delivered by All, looking back post, doesn't make it through. Headed away by the goal scorer, Washington. Borgi took a deflection on his ball through. Ollie Wright going 1v1 with Etu. Played all the way back for Randolph. Really wasn't much Randolph could have even done on the goal that was scored by Titus Washington. Just roofed it. As soon as it came across his body and he had the opportunity at it. Chance for Portland Hearts of Pine to take down a USL Championship club, something they've already done this year. They beat Detroit City 4-2 in this tournament. They beat Hartford Athletic in US Open Cup. Club in its first season, building something special. Looking in front here, fumbled by the keeper. Jacqueson trying to go for a goal, just swings and misses. Second effort, Garcia deflected, and it trickles out for a corner.
Right now, Bertrand Jacqueson needs to lay this ball into Garcia right now. Just put it into his path. Just too late. Once you recognize that Garcia is in a better body position, you just see the reaction out of the 18. If you just pick up your head and be a little bit more unselfish, it's 1-1. In the end, fantastic positioning from Wright, who's had himself a really good game as a center back role.
Corner brought to you by Toms of Maine. Looking toward that back post, saved again off the line. Twice tonight that's happened for Portland. Secondary ball in by Garcia, still loose for Jacqueson. Trying to find the lane, he does it, he scores! Finally, Bertrand Jacqueson puts one through, level at 1.
A weight off the shoulders of Jacqueson, and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds organization as a whole does a fantastic job at creating his own shot. Notice how quickly he moves this ball from his right foot to his left foot. That opens up a window. As a number 9, your spatial awareness is everything, but also your technical ability and your quickness. No backlift on your shot, no chance for Morse to come across, because once he sees this ball, it is just too late. No defending this. It's a great goal from Jacqueson to give us a tied game here.
How long will it be tied for? Titus Washington the other way. Cuts it back, has Ali Wright, lays it off. It's Wright! Tied no longer! Ali Wright puts Portland back on top.
Coming into this game, Joe, you and I had no idea what it was going to instill, but we wanted goals, and we've got just that. Decision making from Washington to use momentum to his favor, and just understand the back line of the Riverhounds, they're retreating, so that gives Ollie Wright the ability to join the attack on this cutback. Great goal. Even better strike from Ollie Wright just to get his right leg around it and keep his hips squared. Bends it into that far post, and yet again, give Portland Hearts of Pine the lead in the second half.
Titus Washington and Ali Wright subbed into this game together in the 61st minute. In the 64th, Ali Wright assisted Titus Washington. In the 73rd, Titus Washington assisted Ali Wright. It's a day where Bobby Murphy comes away looking like a genius. Now down the other end, shout for a penalty, and it's given! This game has completely got off the rails, and there's a chance for Pittsburgh to tie here from 12 yards out. That last goal for Portland, brought to you by Town & Country, might not last very long as a go-ahead.
Junior Atsu, great touch right here. And I'll tell you what, from that angle, it looks like Junior Atsu makes the most of it. There's a little bit of contact, but he goes down and just puts the emphasis on Edson Carvajal, who points to 12 yards out. No VAR here in Jägermeister Cup. An opportunity for the Riverhounds to draw even yet again.
Well, we are unfortunately going to break the string potentially of goals in consecutive minutes. Pittsburgh scored in the 72nd. Portland scored in the 73rd. We've left the 74th, unfortunately, so maybe in the 75th for Bertrand Jacqueson. Would have had 3 goals in 3 minutes. I don't think the neutral would sneeze at 3 goals in 4 minutes. Hunter Morse again in goal for Portland. Subbed on in the first half after tonight's starter, Cash Oladapo, picked up a red card. He is their main keeper, Hunter Morse. Jacqueson looking for his second of the night, and he has it. Calm, cool, collected down the middle, and we continue to go back and forth, level again at 2.
Just want you to notice a surf touch right here from Junior Etcher. There is a little bit of the extension of the left arm from Mohamed, and this is as cool as you would like from Jacqueson. As you look to go down the middle, you need to pull a little bit off of it in case of the leg left centrally by the goalkeeper, who dives out of the way. A brace in a matter of moments for Jacqueson.
We entered the 64th minute tied. We also enter the 76th minute tied. A lot happened in those 11 minutes in between. And we're here at 2-2. This is what the Jägermeister Cup is all about. Opportunity to end the group stage on a high note for both of these clubs. Penalties loom 15 minutes from now if we're still tied. And the rules of the Jägermeister Cup. If tied after 90, straight to a shootout for that bonus point. Opportunity for Portland, the victory in this one, to finish ahead of multiple USL Championship teams in this group. That is going to give this team a lot of confidence going forward back into regular season play if they can look at the standings from the Jägermeister Cup and knowing they beat Pittsburgh, knowing they beat Detroit City. Two teams that are playoff teams at the moment, mind you, in the USL Championship, a division higher. That's what Portland is all about. They have not shied away from any challenge here in their first year of existence. Inaugural season, 6,000 a game here at Fitzpatrick Stadium, putting on a show each time. Misplay by Walty. Able to keep possession though, Pittsburgh.
eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now.
This game has felt like eFootball the last 15 minutes. 2 goals for Pittsburgh, 2 goals for Portland, all in the last 15 minutes. It has felt in many ways like a video game. Bobby Murphy at the joysticks. Bob Lilly, sorry to cut you off. Bob Lilly maybe not upset at this. Again, back to the conversations we've been having about this team's lack of goal scoring as of late. I'm sure he's not happy about the 2 goals conceded, and that is maybe what his focus would be coming out of this. But for a team that's been struggling to score goals, and he doesn't look the happiest right now, but for a team that's been struggling to score goals, getting 2 and perhaps more is something that they will take from this game, no doubt.
But also the player that scored the goal, Jacqueson. If you can get him, as well as Augie Williams, playing, number one, off of one another once league play comes, but also both players finding the back of the net and getting in a rhythm. Now you have 2 real weapons going forward, especially with Robbie Mertz pulling the strings underneath him. So yes, you and I know Bob Murphy Bob Lilly through our conversation with him. He's a perfectionist. He's always going to be able to pick things out, says we need to do this better, we need to right these wrongs. But for a team that has been struggling to find the back of the net, this is maybe the game that you needed. The ability to get out and players really to take the craziness that we've seen in the last 11 minutes and just embrace it and start to express themselves and take chances and say, I'm going to be that player that gives us the win here.
All of that said, Bob Lilly is typically somebody who takes things with a grain of salt. They had back-to-back games against New Mexico and Loudoun at home, Pittsburgh. Loudon, a team that's top 3 in the Eastern Conference. New Mexico, a team top 3 in the Western Conference. They took 4 out of a possible 6 points from those games. They had an expected goals combined in those 2 games above 4. So it showed you maybe they were turning the corner, and we asked Bob after that if he felt that way, and he said, yes, but can we do it on the road? Because they hadn't been able to do that on the road quite yet. Tonight they're doing it on the road, but there's a but to that but, which is it's against the USL League One team, and they've been up a man since the 29th minute. So for a coach who takes things with a grain of salt, that's the grain of salt to take from tonight so far. But just a matter of confidence for a team that hasn't been scoring a lot of goals. You don't care who it's against. You don't care how many players are on the field. You don't care how they go in. It's just that you look up and you see there's at least 2, possibly more, over the next 10 plus stoppage.
Give credit to Bob Lilly as well. Tactically, he's gotten this game right in the second half. Shifted into a 3-back system. Now you have real width with Junior Etu and Borgi, which has made a world of differences for spacing and central location, and that's where we've seen the Riverhounds really carve through Portland Hearts of Pines with those runs out of midfield.
I'm seeing a sub momentarily for Pittsburgh. Told that'll be all for Jason Borgi. It'll be Pablo Linzoa in the check-in, a young teenager, Academy product. For now, it's Etu. Back for Garcia. Lays it off. Struck toward goal over the bar. Not a bad effort from distance by Charles Alt. And here comes that change for Pittsburgh. Opportunity for Linzoine. Checking in for Jason Borgi. Linzoine, 3 appearances for 12 minutes in the regular season. We've seen his face in tournament play, Jaeger Cup, Open Cup. Still playing a lot of his time right now. U18s, U19s for Pittsburgh. Starting to get that sniff with the first team. All subs brought to you by $3 Dewey's. JT Kamara bursting away from Etu. Kamara looking end line. Did it take a touch? He's claiming it did. Referees saw it differently. Goal kick. I've almost forgotten that Portland is down a man the way the last 15 minutes have gone. It's just been so end-to-end, 2 goals each.
Does all the hard work here, Kamara. He was not 1 but 2, but that touch right there just sends him a little bit too heavy, and he is such an exciting player for Portland Hearts of Pine. Him and Ollie Wright on both sides of the field for Bobby Murphy. Just so dynamic in the way that they can approach games, whether it is combination play, we can see 1v1 ability. It's a nice little nutmeg. And strength shown from Washington.
Right. Messer. Walty switching, looking for Etu, and cleared by Mo Mohammed. Unable to keep it in. 6 minutes plus stoppage away from penalties here tonight at Fitzpatrick Stadium. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Ollie Wright just clears it down toward the corner. Alleviate some of the pressure right now for Portland, who seems to be starting to feel a little bit more. They're collapsing again defensively. Pressure's building from Pittsburgh. They'd like to take the momentum that they've started to foster in this one. Turn it into 3 points in the 90 minutes and avoid a shootout. 5 plus stoppage. Stoppage figures to be around 5. We've seen some breaks in this half for injuries and subs. And the 4 goals and the penalty. Figure about 5 on the way. So about 10 minutes on active game time to decide this in regulation. Tell you what, with promotion relegation on the horizon under the USL umbrella, there's more incentive than previous years for teams in League One to hold on to players and not necessarily sell them on the championship or loan them up. But Ollie Wright has shown in this tournament against championship caliber teams, played through here looking for Jacqueline, but Ollie Wright has shown in these games against championship teams, he belongs against these teams. He has done a lot of damage against these teams, and in this tournament, the platform it's given these players, he's maybe one of the players who's most taken advantage of that platform.
Just quickly becoming a complete attacking player, not only in USL League One, but USL as a whole. Had a good chat with Bobby Murphy weeks ago about Ollie Wright when he was on the heels of his hat trick at home. Said he can do every trick in the book. He can beat any single player around the field at any given time. But the next step in the progression for Ollie Wright will be his decision making. When to start to express himself, when to try to go for the nutmegs versus when to keep the game simple, keep it moving. If he can get that right, now you have a player that has no telling where his potential can end up.
He's going to end up in the book here for a yellow card there. Tactical foul by Ollie Wright. Reminds me a lot of another player in the USL Championship as you see his transgression. Reminds me a lot of Charlie Dennis of Phoenix Rising, where you could put him pretty much anywhere in the midfield. You could put him on the top line, tell him to go score. You could drop him in, have him be the service provider. And that name comes to mind because similar to the case right now with Ollie Wright, Charlie Dennis made his name in USL League One, ascended to the championship, became an all-league player in the championship. It feels like Ollie Wright is on a very similar trajectory and very similar style player too. Looking again for Jacqueline, sitting on a hat trick, drops it down to Griffin, cleared instead by Wada. Linzoine. Chance for the teenager to make a name for himself tonight, delivering centrally, headed away. At 18 years of age, up through the Pittsburgh Academy. Suber. Looking for Et2, will he get there? He did. Or did he? Assistant referee chimed in now after the fact. He was just beyond the line, out for a goal kick.
Just been an ongoing theme for Bob Lilly and the Riverhounds, as we're seeing all come a little bit more central, as well as Garcia. Now Mohammed is getting caught far too narrow next to right, and that is giving Junior Et2 all types of space and real estate on that far end. So if you are the right back for Portland Hearts of Pine, you have to have the ability to split the difference. Yes, you want to stay compact with your center back, but when that ball travels, that's when you need to get extremely tight to Junior Et2, because he's too good of a player that he can hurt you with his service.
Just over a minute remaining of the 90. We await word on stoppage. Et2 lost it. Cleanly won by JT Kamara. Ollie Wright feeding through too long. There's Randolph. I think you and I would sign up for similar excitement tomorrow night on ESPN2 when Detroit City welcomes Westchester SC. This is what Jägermeister Cup is all about. Emphasis on attacking-minded football. That's why goals scored is the first tiebreaker, not goal differential. 4 goals tonight, split right down the middle between these two teams. Portland have been playing down a man since around the half-hour mark. It has not mattered whatsoever. Washington all the way back to Randolph. Told there will be 6 additional minutes here at the end of 90. Stoppage time brought to you by Visit Maine. Is there a winner for either of these two sides, or do we go to a shootout? Pittsburgh with an expected goals tally of over 2 in just the second half alone. Linzoine delivering back post too much. Etu came in creeping toward that back post, and he held his run and waited for it. Could have had a chance to set something up. Griffin.
Good ball.
Wide to Linzoine. Jacqueson wants it back, gets it back, turns, deflected. Broughton, slow roller in, gets all the way through.
Just see the importance of that near post run. Just slash across the near side of the defender just causes so much chaos. Because if you don't get on the end of it, you pull out a center back to open up space for a secondary type of run. Fantastic recognition from Garcia there just to cause a little bit of issues from the back line.
Vactor, Etu. Delivered, skimmed along back post. Oh, Griffin was there. A little bit off balance, a little bit caught off guard, and out harmlessly for a goal kick.
Just slow to recognize this. Danny Griffin gets himself into a really good position, unable to get his feet underneath him quick enough and take that long stride to get on the end of it. But those are the areas that we've come to expect, especially at this different type of role that we've seen Danny Griffin play in 2025.
Halfway through stoppage. Broughton looking forward, headed clear. And Mo Mohammed, JT Kamara is a spark plug, beats a couple of defenders. Can he lead the break here? Behind Ali Wright. Ahead for Wada. Wada deflected, still Wada looking through, gathered by Randolph. There's a chance for Shandon Wright, the center back, ranging forward there. Now it's quickly the other way. Ahead, flag stays down for Jacqueson. Muscled off by Vinberg and whistled for it.
That's great defending there from Vinberg. Number one, just to recognize where the space is behind Nathan Messer and secondary just to have the ability to close down the space and notice the body position right there, that little bump, no foul whatsoever. Great defensive play by the number 7 for Portland.
90 seconds remaining in stoppage time. Headed to a shootout if we don't have a goal in the next minute and change. Teams will take a point each on the regulation draw and go to the shootout for the bonus point. Keep that in mind as you get set for tomorrow's 17-match slate in Jägermeister Cup. Final round of group play. Teams playing their 4th and final games. Don't know anybody yet who's through to the quarterfinal. Everything's still up for grabs this weekend. Broughton comes through for Etu. Wisely works it back instead of forcing it. Walty, Vactor. Home on the backside for Pittsburgh. It runs out of play. Throw for Portland, 20 seconds to go, and that might be enough to end this one. Portland taking their time. There is the whistle to end regulation. We had 4 goals split 2 apiece. They came between the 64th and 75th minutes. Just an onslaught from both sides. Not enough to decide it in 90. We go to a shootout at Fitzpatrick Stadium when we return.
At LL Bean, we've been innovating for over a century, making great products better so you can feel better. Day after day, year after year. Outside together since 1912. LL Bean. Be an outsider.
I'm David Libby, President and CEO of Town & Country Federal Credit Union. At Town & Country, we work hard to make a difference every day. From providing a first auto loan to that young adult just starting out, or making the dream of home ownership a reality with a mortgage offering closing costs well below nearly every other local lender, or a Visa credit card with a great rate. Town & Country Federal Credit Union is local people helping local people. Let us help you.
Soccer, more than any other sport, brings together fans of different backgrounds, different cultures, different communities, and makes them one community.
Has anyone ever seen anything like this? It's magic. There's no other word for it. It's magic happening here in Portland.
This is history. This is momentous.
We officially have professional soccer in the great state of Maine.
90 not enough tonight in Portland. It is Hearts of Pine and the Riverhounds needing a shootout to decide things at Fitzpatrick Stadium. The 6,000 shooter and goalkeeper. If you've already taken one, do you go the same way? Do you change it up? We'll find out if Jacquesin steps up. It'll be Pittsburgh to take first, and it's Max Broughton stepping up as the first kick taker. And it's Pittsburgh's first shootout of the year. They would have had a couple of opportunities in Open Cup and 3 previous opportunities in Jägermeister Cup, but have avoided it until now. Portland has only had 1 shootout so far this year. It came at home against Hartford in Open Cup. It was a shootout that Portland won. Hunter Morse thought he was getting the night off for Portland, their main keeper. He subbed on in the first half due to a red card to Cash Oladapo. Now it's Max Broughton scoring to start the shootout.
Really good pen from Broughton, the defender for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Steps into it, sets the tempo, and I just want you to notice his hips, the whole way he keeps them open, and simply just guides it into that far post. Great start to this pen.
And now it's Jacob Randolph stepping between the sticks for Pittsburgh. Eric Dick, the typical goalkeeper, getting the night off tonight. Randolph an opportunity as the cup keeper. It's his 3rd start in Jaeger and another start in Open Cup. Has a shootout to deal with here, and it's Ollie Wright stepping up first for Portland. Had a goal and an assist after subbing on around the hour mark. Pressure on after Pittsburgh made it. Ollie Wright says, what pressure? 1-1.
It is so difficult to read the body position when a player approaches the ball at this speed. Nowadays, we see players stop and start, a little bit of a stutter step, and just tries to wrong foot the goalkeeper. Ollie Wright knows exactly where he wants to place this ball. Great pen.
Jorge Garcia steps up for the Riverhounds. Rookie out of Villanova. Really good year last year as a senior, 5 goals, 2 assists in his 16 starts. Lily again this year showcasing his ability to scout the college ranks, take players and turn them into pros. And he can rely on it nearly immediately. And potential for Garcia, big moment for him now. Garcia denied by Morse. Watch the spin, oh, he kept it out. If that would have spun in, it would have counted. He wisely pounced to it with the backspin. So a miss for Pittsburgh.
Not the best in terms of location from Garcia. Easy save from Morse. He sees it the whole way. Great recognition to quickly get up and not let it get across the goal line.
JT Kamara steps up. Returning stateside this year after 2 seasons in Sweden for JT Kamara. 23-year-old from Ann Arbor, Michigan. 2 goals this season.
Almost playing catch with Randolph there. I don't know what that's about.
The mind games of a shootout, Ricky. The mind games of a shootout. Don't try to understand it, just go with it. Kamara subbed on late against Randolph. It's Kamara scoring. Randolph got a piece of it, not enough to keep it out. And through 2 rounds, advantage Portland.
When you try to close your hips at the last second, you need to keep your shoulders and head over the ball to generate enough power and bend it away from the goalkeeper. Great strike from Kamara.
Up steps Charles All. Another one of those rookies out of the college ranks for Bob Lilly and these Riverhounds. Coming out of Stetson, has quickly become a reliable starter over the last month or 2 for Pittsburgh. Both in regular season play and cup play. Atlantic Sun Player of the Year last year at Stetson. Down a goal after 2 rounds, pressure's on to try and keep pace at least for Charles All, and he does just that. Well taken, sent the keeper the wrong way, rattled it upper 90.
Best pen that we've seen thus far in this shootout from Charles All. Runs up centrally, makes it really difficult to see which angle he's going to go at the last second. Just gets underneath the ball and just lifts it into that top corner. Fantastic pen.
Masashi Wada, another second half substitution. Regular starter this year for Portland. We're giving him a little bit of a break on the legs tonight. Subbed on late in that second half. It's 2 goals in the regular season. Wada against Randolph, sensed the hesitation and he scores. sending Randolph the right way, but able to get it up over the extended hand. 3-2 after 3.
Composure from Wada showing the little stutter step he sees. Randolph gets the right way, but still has the ability to lift it, which is a goalkeeper's nightmare.
Danny Griffin, he has been Mr. Pittsburgh really over the last few years. His first stint with the club out of college from 2020 to 2022. First half of 2023 went elsewhere. Midway through the season, they brought him back. Missed him too much. He's been the captain now this year in the absence of Canardo Forbes. Griffin scores. You expect that out of him.
Almost identical from what we saw from Charles Hall, the way that he runs up to it just directly on, which gives him the ability to go near post, but also to go far post. Same placement of the ball. Great goal from Danny Griffin.
Up steps Titus Washington. He scored that thunderous goal to open the scoring tonight in the 64th minute. 2 goals, 2 assists. In the regular season, he's added tallies here in Jägermeister Cup. Try and keep pace here. All Portland has to do is hold serve. They've already gotten Pittsburgh to miss. Washington holds serve.
He was fantastic when he came onto this field. Titus Washington with his work rate, with his quality, and the ability to be ruthless. No nonsense pen. Hits it well, hits it hard.
Center back steps up, Sean Suber, coming off Team of the Week honors in USL Championship, part of Pittsburgh's clean sheet on the road against Detroit City. Has to score to keep it going. Hunter Morse has made 1 save already. Does he have another up his sleeve to end this? Suber, oh, he got a piece of it, Morse, to try and end the shootout. He knows it. That was his opportunity. But a chance still for Portland to win it with a goal in the bottom of the 5th.
Suber knows it as well. Has the ability to take a deep breath now. Not the best defense from the center back if you are, or you're going to want this one back. You make contact with it, and if a goalkeeper touches a ball on a pen, you need to save it.
So up steps Pat Langlois, 25-year-old from Australia. Spent last year with Northern Colorado Hailstorm, who won the inaugural Jägermeister Cup. Now to give Portland the win in the shootout over Pittsburgh. Langlois scores! Portland sends this crowd home happy. They closed out the group play of Jägermeister Cup with a win over a USL Championship side.
See what it means to Langlois and every single player for the Portland Hearts of Pine organization. Gives Randolph the eyes. He dives one way, Langlois goes the other way. And the celebrations start for Portland Hearts of Pine here at home.
We've continued to see it here. What it means for some of these League One teams, the confidence it breeds that they can take with them back into the regular season when they get their wins over championship sides. And a big reason for the confidence tonight for Portland, a big reason they're celebrating right now is your man of the match presented by Trellis. It's Ollie Wright with a goal and an assist.
Goal and assist. Smashed his pen to start off for Portland Hearts of Pine, but he's just a quality attacking player that was on display here for Bobby Murphy and Portland Hearts of Pine. Watch out for Ollie Wright, especially in that second half of the USL League One season, because he can be a big point of why Portland continues to push up.
As they continue to unlock his abilities, it's a mutual relationship. He unlocks their potential as they've unlocked what he's been able to do. And we'll be back in just a moment to wrap things up from a rowdy Fitzpatrick Stadium. These fans continuing the celebrations after taking it in the shootout over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
In an ideal world,
hey, hon.
you'd always feed your kids healthy snacks.
How was practice?
I'm starving. Legit gonna eat my shin guards.
But time isn't always on your side.
I'm good.
Snack Pals? Grab and go goodness. You know, they're not just for kids.
Hannaford Snack Pals. for healthier snacking and stress-free convenience. Hannaford, all for good.
At PAPE, we've dedicated over 50 years to making sure you do better. That means better prices you can always count on. It means you'll find extensive inventory. It means you can expect top-notch service. And most of all, it means you'll work with a team that listens to what you need and makes it a priority. So why are we so driven to make sure you do better? Because at PAPE, the only thing we love more than cars is people.
Final score brought to you by Après. It was 2-2 after 90 minutes. We needed a shootout, and Portland Hearts of Pine perfect in that shootout. Converted all 5 of their takes. Got a big save by their keeper, Hunter Morse. They win it 5-4 over the Riverhounds. Really nice way to end their group stage here in their inaugural Jägermeister Cup. 2nd edition of this tournament overall. Portland's first in their first year of existence. We'll take you back through some of these full-time highlights here. This is where the game changed. The red card came in the 29th minute against Oladapo. Highlights brought to you by Tom's of Maine. You would think that would put Portland in a bad position, but they responded well in the second half.
The personality shown, the effort shown from Portland Hearts of Pine as we take a look at the save of the match by Nathan Mether, presented by Kennebec Savings Bank. Good recognition by the center back just to drop in and almost play as a second goalkeeper to keep this thing 0-0.
From that point on, we weren't sure if the goal would happen or when it would happen. We got our answer. We got 2 goals in a 10-minute span, and then we were off to the races. It started here in the 64th with Titus Washington's goal.
Good ball. Great off-the-ball running from Washington, and the finish is fantastic. To let it come across your body and simply just step into it, to roof it, no chance for the goalkeeper, and you just see what it means for Portland Hearts of Pine. For Bertrand Jacquesson, you and I had a lot of conversation about him through the 90 minutes of this game, saying that he was a player that the Riverhounds needed to get going. Unable to score in USL League play, but does a really good job right here at creating his own window and just a lot of traffic in front of Morris. He can't see it, and it's game on 1-1.
And that's a player who learned a lesson. Remember in the first half, he had a really good opportunity. He took a touch with the right foot and then toe poked it with the right foot instead of using his left foot. That time he just puts his laces through it with the left foot, and he's rewarded for it. But that tying goal lasted all but a minute.
Good recognition from Washington here to see the back line is retreating, so that gives Ollie Wright the area of the game, the area of the box. Good strike, and it is our play of the game presented by Ella Bean.
From that point on, you thought, all right, maybe this team would go on and hold on, down a man, who cares? Let's put on a show, let's win it. No. 1 minute later, right down the other end of the field, Ed 2 draws the penalty, and then it's all eyes on Bertrand Jacquesson once again.
Good pen from Jacquesson just to let Morse step out of the way, and you need to take a little bit off of it. He goes down to central location, 2-2, and he gets his brace, and the player's going to be full of confidence.
It was interesting. We talked about the mind games of somebody who takes a penalty in game and then going to a shootout. We actually never saw him take one. He was not part of the 5 kick takers for the Riverhounds. The star, though, was Hunter Morse. He made the one save that mattered, and everybody else on the Portland side converted every single kick.
Denies Garcia, and Langlois puts the exclamation mark on this and gives the Portland Hearts of Pine side the extra point as they head into their mental health break.
They've got that week off coming up. It'll feel a lot better. Final stats brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Ricky, it looks lopsided because of the red card with the possession and the shots, but Portland hung in there, and Portland took it to Pittsburgh in the final half hour.
You can take positives if you are from both of these managers. For Pittsburgh, Riverhounds and Bob Lee scored 2 goals. You get Bertrand Jacquesson full of confidence. But for Portland Hearts of Pine, down a man for the majority of this game. You showed fight, you showed personality, and you more importantly gave the 6,000 plus in attendance something to cheer on.
They had plenty to cheer this evening. Portland Hearts of Pine, they celebrate another victory over a USL Championship side, and that will propel them going back into regular season play in League One. If you enjoyed tonight, we're just getting started. We have 17 games coming tomorrow on the final day of play in the group stage of Jägermeister Cup. For the crew that makes this possible, broadcast partner Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa saying so long for now. Portland Hearts of Pine celebrate a home win in the shootout over the Riverhounds. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.